The ghost passenger. There's nothing better than a hot dog on Český Budějovice train station. Today, Prague had never seemed so far away. It was cold and wet, and I was stupidly tired. The damp was coursing through my veins, making my creaking joints ache. It was only 4:57, but already night had taken over from day, who'd slipped off a few minutes early to collect its kids from school. But the hot dog had cheered me up a little bit. I screwed up the paper it came in and popped it into the empty rubbish bin by my seat. These old trains with their mini compartments were great when they were empty. Peace and quiet. Despite it being cold outside, the compartment was still overly hot. So I turned the heating down to stop myself being slow roasted like a goose at Christmas. I kicked off my shoes, put my feet on the seat opposite, and decided to get some sleeping practice. I hadn't been sleeping very well recently, so I needed all the practice I could get. As the train departed from one of its tin pot stations en route, the door to my compartment slowly rolled open. I groggily opened one eye to see if anyone had come in, but no one had. I had half a sleepy mind to get up and close the door, but before I could rouse my aching body, the motion of the train had done the job for me. I closed my eyes and tried to drift off back to sleep. Something stopped me from dropping off. I was suddenly cold, really cold, goose pimple cold. I'd never been cold on a Czech train, ever. Even when the heating was off, they still resembled a Swedish sauna. I pulled my jacket around me, but it didn't help. It felt like the damp had now frozen in my veins, making me cold from the inside out. But it wasn't just the cold. Somehow the atmosphere had changed in the compartment. I didn't feel like I was alone anymore. I had the feeling that someone was sitting opposite me, staring at me, disapproving of my pink socks or my feet on the seats. There was the faintest smell of citrus fruit in the compartment that hadn't been there before. Maybe someone next door was eating an orange, but the smells didn't usually waft down the corridor. I closed my eyes and tried to relax, but my body was stiff and tense, the hairs on my neck standing on the end. The orangey smell was stronger now, and if it was possible, I felt even more cold. Then I felt something brush past me, and the small rubbish bin next to me inexplicably opened and shut. Not by much, but just enough. As we rolled into Benešov, the door slid open again, but this time it didn't close itself. I got up and shut it firmly and sat back down. The cold was gone, along with the smell. I shook my head, wondering what that had been all about, and then put my empty coffee cup into the bin. I closed the lid and then froze with fear. Next to my hot dog wrapper, and now under my coffee cup, was an orange peel that hadn't been there before.